It's a win for Salmi. They've one run in this match. It's a big six. Karachi have won.
It's a young franchise, but they've done it.
What a start!
It's time for the Pindi Stadium to make some noise for the home team. In the HBL PSL 8, Islamabad United have flexed their batting firepower in a couple of games.
Oh, cracked and fatted by Azim Khan.
And their bowlers have hit the bullseye.
Gone, trying to heave it away.
Shadab Khan and his men are yet to find consistency. For their rivals, these are anxious times. The Kings have suffered heartbreaking last ball thrillers.
6 will win the game for the Kings, a 4 will tie it, anything less the Sultans win. Down the ground, should only be one, what a victory! Surely one of the best T20 games we've seen for a long time.
They've lost their way from winning positions. Can Imad Wasim inspire his team to forge a turnaround?
Hat-trick of boundaries now for the skipper.
Or will Islamabad give their home fans something to cheer about? The battle lines are drawn for a close contest.
Beautiful evening here in Pindi Cricket Stadium. A lot better today, I would say, warmer in comparison to what we saw in that previous game. But we're all set for yet another HBL PSL encounter, and this time it's the home side that'll be seen in action, Islamabad United, and they are up against Karachi Kings. Well, this is what they're playing for. Remember, the top 4 teams are going to qualify for the playoffs, and Islamabad United have won 3 of the 5 that they've played. They've lost 2. Karachi Kings, they've been struggling. It's been a real struggle for them. 7 games that they've played, they've lost 5 of them. Hello and welcome to Pitside once again. Well, it is a chance for Karachi Kings to really redeem themselves in this encounter, because it is literally make or break for them. They have to win the 3 games that they have left starting from today. Islamabad United, it's been a mixed bag for them so far, but I think it'll be nice to see the home side get some rhythm as well. I'm sure that Pindi crowd is really going to be backing them. Now in the studio though, we have a Nostradamus. Yes, we're talking about somebody who really knows how to get their predictions right. Just in that previous game, we had a prediction, somebody made a certain call, and guess what? It was proven right in the end. Let's have a look.
If Mohammad Amir is smart and his captains won the toss, he just wants to look at, do you remember how Shaheen Shah Afridi got that ball to swing late and demolish Babar Azam's stumps with the in-swinger? That's what Mohammad Amir's got to do tonight to Babar Azam.
Well, I mean, really, I think Wilco he should sit in our studio all the time, because if he can make such calls, his ability to call this right, Mohammad Amir, he was sort of struggling for form, but then that delivery to Babar Azam. You know, this is what the matchups are all about. You know, you have a left-arm fast bowler in the form of Mohammad Amir, and he's bowling those in-swings to Babar Azam to get him out. So let's see if we can see that kind of action today. We're talking about none other than Alan Wilkins, who's joined us in the studio. He's got a huge smile on his face because he's almost got that look that, you know, I've been proven right. Joined by Sana Mir as well. Wilco, I'm going to start with you. Should I always come to you for predictions then?
Well, you know, I've got some notes here. Thanks, Zainab. Hi, Sana. I remember when I did say that, both of you went, no, because you said that Mohammad Amir doesn't have the pace of Shaheen Shah Afridi. But I just felt it was going to be Mohammad Amir's evening. And I have another feeling tonight about a certain batsman who's coming back for Islamabad. And Alex Hales, and I think it's going to be, here we go, I think it could be MI2T or Tabraiz Shamsi who've got a bowl in the power play to get Alex Hales out.
Right, so you think MI2T is going to get Alex Hales out, or... Ooh,
I think that could be Alex Hales right there.
Just having a few...
I think it's going to be one of these two. They've got to be brave, because if Alex Hales gets loose, if he's allowed to run, his power play batting is so strong, so destructive, he could take it away.
Sana, I mean, Islamabad United, Alex Hales, having Alex Hales is always a luxury. I mean, he's just been one of those guys that has done so well for Islamabad United.
Absolutely. I think once Alex Hales joins Islamabad United batting lineup, we always know how destructive he has been. And it's very difficult for the captains and the bowlers to bowl to him in the power play because of the range of his shots. He's a tall customer, and he has got shots everywhere in the ground, whether it's the offside, he plays the spin really well, and he plays it late. And ever since that he has come back in the England team also, he has been so destructive. So he has got confidence on his side as well. And that's why it makes him so dangerous for the other teams.
Now, definitely, if there was a list of openers that teams would want to see in their side, Alex Hales would be right up there in terms of picks. But let's talk about Karachi Kings, Wilco, because it, you know, you feel for them because it has been a struggle this entire tournament. But they have to win this one. There's no other way about it. You know, they have to win. It's a must-win game for them.
Absolutely. And, you know, they've got themselves into this situation. They've had 3 matches where they've lost by 2 runs, you know, 5 runs, 6 runs, whatever it is. But they've got an inspirational captain in MI2T. If you just have a look, they've got the experience of Shoaib Malik. They've got batting. They've got all the ingredients. They just don't seem to be able to put it together on the night. But tonight they got it. As you rightly say, they've got 3 matches left and they've won 2. They've lost 5 out of 7. So any team has to, with the exception of a couple of seasons who've won 4, they've got to win 5 matches to qualify for those playoffs for the top 4. It's going to be tough. They've got to get over the line because Islamabad have won the last 5 against Karachi Kings. I think it's that tough.
Sana, you know, you talk about that middle order. We've spoken about it in our shows as well, that it's been, you know, they haven't really stepped up when it's mattered. They've got the options, but the economy has been, if you compare it to all the other teams, it's been the lowest in their batting department.
Yes, I think with Karachi Kings, the problem is that they have not been using their resources really well. Even if they have 6 bowlers in their lineup, they are only using 5 bowlers. If they have Shoaib Malik in their lineup, they are using him at number 5 rather than number 4. And MI2T, who has been in terrific form, whether with the bat or with the ball, he's also coming late in crucial matches. So he is making 50s on 30 deliveries, but it is almost after the game has been decided. So what's really important for them is to use the resources better. If there are 6 bowlers in the lineup, use them. Amir Yamin might not be the best person to bowl at the death. So maybe use Ben Cutting there if you are playing him.
Right, they have the options, and Islamabad United also has quite a few options when you look at their squad. Wilco, that batting lineup, I mean, that innings by Azam Khan the other night in Karachi was quite spectacular, and he sort of made a statement there. But then you look at the kind of options that they have. They are one strong team. They're
a team that got some monsters in there. Azam Khan is a monster hitter of the cricket ball. This ground is just not big enough for him. But you know, you've got Colin Munro. If he comes off, and Colin hasn't quite lit all the fireworks in recent seasons, but do you see that third name? Asif Ali. I am a huge fan of Asif Ali. I've always said, why doesn't he go up the order a little bit more? Because from the time when our great friend Dean Jones was coach of Islamabad, he said he's a finisher, he can come in, he can flick the switch at 6, 7 or 8. But I still would like to see him going up the order. But you know, you've got Rasif van der Dussen, you've got Shadab, the skipper, who likes to go up the order. So they have plenty of options.
Right, we're talking about Islamabad United and the kind of combinations they have. One of the stars for them definitely has been Azam Khan, which is why the numbers game today is on Azam Khan. Well, when you talk about Azam Khan, you have to look at his strike rate. You have to look at his strike rate in the death overs. You look at those overs 16 to 20. Remember, they're always the most important overs of any T20 because you're finishing the game for your side. Azam Khan with a strike rate of 320 in the HBL PSL 8. Sana, yes, 320, the highest by any player in the HBL PSL 8.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and he has been, you have to give him credit, the kind of criticism he has been under, the kind of pressure he has been under, because of course he's the son of Moin Khan, but what he has done with his game, that is brilliant. We have seen time and again, whether it was CPL, whether it was PSL, whether it was whenever he's got the opportunity, the power and again the range of shots. He can create that space for himself, going back deep in the crease, going on the leg side, and he's getting coaching from Alan as well. So what else do you want?
What was the discussion here then, Alan? Are you giving tips to Azam Khan, or is it the other way around? How's this working?
Yeah, I think what he said was, had you been bowling, my strike rate would have been 640. He said no chance. But I mean, could you imagine having that behind you, the fact that you're 300, you're hitting at 320, and you know, this guy can change a game in a couple of deliveries, so he's dangerous. He's got that danger factor.
He's got that danger factor, and you know, he definitely reminds me of his father actually, with that sweep 6 that we saw the other night from Azam Khan. You know, extreme nostalgia when it comes to the Pakistan side. Moin Khan was specifically known for that. All right, that was the numbers game for you. All right, time for a short break, but don't go too far because we've got plenty more to discuss. We'll have a closer look at the teams, and then we'll also have the toss and the pitch report later on. Lovely evening here in Pindi. We're ready for this one. Islamabad United take on Karachi Kings. Just before the break, we were talking about Azam Khan and how good he is, and that innings of his in Karachi was absolutely magnificent. It was, you know, a visual treat for everybody who was watching, and he's specifically known for his power hitting. And because we're talking about power hitting, Bazid Khan earlier broke down what is the secret behind power hitting on Expert Advice.
So power hitting, there is a method behind the madness. It's not as simple as just going out there and striking the ball. There's a lot of thought about having a really powerful upper body to hit big, but actually all the power comes from the legs, so you need to have really strong legs. Now to start off, first thing, you need to have a very strong base as you start off. The head should be, as always, very straight, and then what you do is that you're not leading with the head as in normal batting. You lead with the head, you lead with the hip, because you're trying to hit the ball out of the park. So you lead with the hip, and the rotation of hip is where the power comes from. So there is where the power comes from, the rotation of the hip. And you want to be right front on, so both legs, once you're striking the ball, this is the position you should be in, with both legs front on. And remember, the back leg has to be bent for all that power to then be released to the hand. So basically, position like that. So you got your back leg bent and also heel off the ground. So that is off the ground. So all the power then goes to your hands and your bat, and in the end, obviously, it's all about how hard you hit it is with your hands, with the speed of the hands. And once you start doing that, that's the basic drill of power hitting. That's the most powerful position you can get it and hit it out of the park. Now, power hitters need room. So most of the power hitters will give themselves rooms outside leg stump to be able to just release those hands. You don't want to be on off stump or middle stump, because then you struggle with the ball in between those stumps to hit them away. The problem with that is that the ball coming back in is always a problem, and that ends up being the wicket ball. But as we've seen so often in T20 cricket, all these power hitters, once they get the bat through the line of the ball, or once they get the connection, it goes out of the park. It is pretty similar to baseball in terms of how the power hitters prepare. Just 3-4 aspects of it, mostly being still and being front on and the legs bent so that all the power goes up the body and through the hands into the ball and out of the park.
Yeah, I mean, Wilco, just on what Baz said, you know, there's often a misconception that power literally only just comes from the hands and the arms, but it was just nice to know and you know, understand that it's also a lot about the hip rotation and leg movement and your stance.
It comes from a strong base. If you think of a golfer, you've got to have you've got to be strong in the legs, strong everywhere, down through the chest, from here. So you've got a strong base. Your core has got to be strong, and that's what Bazard was saying. And if your core is strong, the last things to come through the hand, and if you know, if you've done a little bit of physics at school, you know that that's really the fastest thing. It's the last thing to go through is your hands. So that was a lovely piece by Bazard then, who was a blocker really when he played, wasn't he? he was
those ones
Bazard.
I'm glad he's getting some sledging from Alan, because he sledges everyone.
Wilco, you're in for some trouble now.
He's the biggest blocker in Islamabad.
You'll have
you know.
long 20 overs today. I'm telling you.
So, yeah, I don't know what to add now, because I've completely lost my chain of.
I think with the hip rotation, I think it's as important for a power hitter as the use of wrist for a fast bowler. That last click of the wrist is as important. Your hip with baseball, when we compare, this is the new modern day batting, because this only came into batting in the last 10-15 years. Before, it was all about hands and head and your feet. But this hip movement, this is especially because when T20 cricket came, everyone knew that extra power you generate from your hip.
Harry Brook is also somebody who's training, you know, we're talking about baseball, he's training with the baseball team in the US, and I mean, it's nice to see that there's so much innovation going around in terms of how to improve that aspect of your game.
You know, Harry Brook, he is mercurial at the moment for England, so yes, he's got that sort of baseball, this movement, but you know, years ago, and A.B. de Villiers is another one, the South African, what a player. But years ago, the Australian cricket team men's, and I'm sure that the women's team has done it as well. And by the way, is that the greatest team of all time? That's another discussion.
Yeah.
But they employed the services of an American thrower who used to play baseball. And so a pitcher, and they literally, and it's all about shoulder. There's a technique to throwing. And I think, you know, sides are cottoning on that there's a transfer from sport to sport. So what Harry Brook is doing, you know, I think is a wonderful thing.
Surely.
And golf also. We saw how Mohammad Hafiz, when he was playing at the later part of his career, he used the golf swing to basically have that base and hit it through the line of the ball.
No wonder we have all our comms playing golf every single day. I think they're probably going to want to go back onto that field, you know, get the pads in, you know, any replacements required. We've got the whole comms team ready, because they're just utilizing their time playing a lot of golf. On that note, we'll take another breather, and when we are back, we'll be ready for the toss. Back on pitch side, and we are literally just moments away from the toss. But interestingly enough, because we're talking about toss and talking about teams winning the toss and opting to field first, 15 times out of the 18 matches that we've seen so far, the teams that have batted first have actually gone on to win. So it's quite interesting that despite that, Sana, why do you think teams are still opting to win the toss and field first?
Yeah, especially with Imad Wasim, the first match he played against Peshawar Zalmi. He's the local player from Islamabad. I was very surprised when they asked Peshawar Zalmi to bat first. I think it's because they are expecting dew, which has not played a big role so far, and the pitches have been great. I think credit to the groundsmen. They have been bounced and they have pure belters. So I do think any captain who wins the toss, they should put the runs on board, especially for Karachi, because they will be under pressure. They need to win all 3 games now.
Yeah, bat first, bowl first. I mean, how do you go about this?
Well, I just wonder whether maybe tonight we might see a change. Because of those numbers that you've just told our viewers, will it change tonight? If the captain wins the toss, said, you know what, we'll have a bat. We'll bat tonight because the numbers tell us that in this HBL PSL 8, the side who bats first wins more matches than loses. So it could be a change. Because we don't have much dew. We didn't the other night, so it could be a change. The captain's got to be brave, but, you know, it's all about stats these days.
All right, all about the stats then. We're talking about the stats, and we've seen that teams batting first have been winning in the HBL PSL so far, yet teams have been opting to bowl first. But what happens today, though? That's what we are going to find out just in a bit, because we are ready with the toss. It's over to Danny Morrison, who's out there with the 2 captains.
Evening all, it's that time of the night and it's Friday and we're all fired up for another match in the HBL PSL. Oh look, B-Love, love you to pieces with the coin toss. All in readiness out here. Roshan Mahanama from Sri Lanka is our match referee. Imad Wasim, good to see you again here. And Shadab Khan is in town. Who's got the coin, please? Shudders, thank you.
Heads.
Heads is the coin. Heads. Oh, I've got a roller, Roche.
Exactly.
It's a nice bias.
Heads.
And?
It is heads. Betting that.
And surely tonight you're going to have a bat first.
Yes, we're going to
You've
bat
learnt.
first. Yes, we're going to bat first today.
And this versus, oh, only just there, weren't we?
Yeah.
Absolute belter. Looks a treat again.
It's a good wicket. I think there wasn't any dew last game as well. I think batting first is a good option. Runs on the board is always important.
And for you bowlers, a bit scary, eh? It's quite close now, that boundary, eh?
It's 65 meters all around. It is what it is. I think you have to bowl very defensively once the batsman is set. I think every team has their own plans, but runs on the board is always important. Having said that, their team is very, very good while chasing, but we'll give ourselves a chance.
Yeah, it's a big stat, that. Changes to your side?
Yes, 2 changes. Tai comes in for cutting and Sharjeel comes in for Akif.
Oh, well, listen, good luck tonight with that
Thank
bat. Shadab, I reckon you probably would have liked to bat given the stats and history here.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now we wanted to bowl first.
Really?
Yes. I think stats-wise, that ground is very difficult to contain, so we want to bowl first.
Coming off a thumping there in Lahore, but this is a different night, different pitch, looks good. Have you made any differences to your team?
Yeah, we have 3 changes. I don't know, I forget a bit, but Mubassir comes in, Roman comes in, and Alex Hales.
You've done very well. Must be great to have Hales back. Excited?
Yeah, you know, he's a world-class player. He plays all around the world, and thank God he's on our side.
Good to see you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Right on news from the centre. Imad Wasim, the toss has gone his way yet again, and he's done the right thing. He's going to bat first. Right, Baz, we better catch up with Baz and all that excitement. Baz, we've come from there.
You, old man.
Yes, to here. And, geez, look at this. What a sheen. Carbon copy the other one.
Absolutely. You don't want to be standing here. You don't want to be delivering your balls short of a length because it's going to fly away. We saw the other night as well, whenever even the slow one into the pitch, if it wasn't short, if it was that length, it would fly away. It is a boundary scoring ground. We've already established that, and we know how good the pitch is, and it's absolutely the same pitch that was played on a couple of days ago.
You live here. Have you told the crowd? Do they wear helmets? Can they get helmets to wear in the crowd?
Well, they say that they're so close that the ball sails over them, so they're fine.
That's gold. Anyway, we're going inside and we're going to have a great time. It's going to rain sixes.
Well, for a change, I think they're listening to our experts in the studio. They have decided to bat first. I mean, that was the discussion that was going on, Sanat, that, you know, teams need to be looking at the trends so far in the HBL PSL, and that's what we've seen from MI2T. They need to put on a good score, and they've made a couple of changes. They've got Sharjeel Khan back.
Yeah, I think, of course, it's not an easy target to set against a team like Islamabad United. It would have been easier for them if they had batted first against Peshawar Zalmi, because their batting is still not as long. But with Islamabad United, I think they will have to put a very decent score on the board.
Parting thoughts, Alan, before we let you leave?
Well, it's good, isn't it? I mean, MI2T winning the toss, batting first.
Prediction?
Karachi tonight.
Karachi tonight. Well, you know, if Alan Wilkins is saying Karachi tonight, then you better take it seriously because he's been getting all his predictions right so far. It's only been one day since he's been here and he's been calling the shots already. Anyway, on that note, we'll take another break. Well, just a quick reminder that the news from the centre is that Karachi Kings have won the toss and they have elected to bat first for a change. I've now been joined by Bazat Khan in the studio. Baz, काफ़ी हमने discussion की कि क्यों teams were opting to bowl first, जबकि winning जो देख रहे हैं, जो winning trend देख रहे हैं, वो batting first से हो रहा है. But for Karachi, I mean, it is an opportunity कि यहाँ पे आपने बताया कि it's going to be raining sixes. That's what we heard from Danny as well. So it's an opportunity for them कि वो अच्छा स्कोर करे और वापस आए टूर्नामेंट में.
तो डैनी ने कहा और आपने मान लिया.
चले आप बता दें आप पिच एक्सपर्ट हैं.
नहीं, कराची जितने भी मैच खेला है, their problem has been chasing. हम कहते हैं कि they lost close matches, but they lost the matches 3-4 overs earlier. बाद में तो catch up cricket खेलते हैं. So the match that they won, they actually did well with the ball. Did well with the batting first. And once you get runs up top, I think इस PSL में हमें लगा है कि जब तक आप रन्स ऑन द बोर्ड बनाए तो फिर प्रेशर में आ जाती है. अब शर्जील को भी वापस लेके आए हैं, शायद वो भी क्योंकि 2-4 मैच मिस किए हैं तो शायद उसको भी एक भूख होगी कि मैं रन्स बनाऊं, और एंड्रू टाई को वापस लेके आए. लेकिन रन्स ऑन द बोर्ड जैसे MI2T ने कहा, आई थिंक कराची किंग्स इट सूट्स देम.
Islamabad United ने भी कुछ changes किए हैं. Mubassir Khan comes back. 3 changes है. Big news for them obviously is that Alex Hales is back and he's opening for them, and Roman Reis is also back for them.
I think सबसे बड़ी न्यूज़ ना सिर्फ इस्लामाबाद यूनाइटेड के लिए बल्कि बाकी टीम्स के लिए कि एलेक्स हेल्स वापस आ चुके हैं. मुबस्सिर एज एन इमर्जिंग प्लेयर खेलेंगे. जीशान को थोड़ी सी इंजरी का सामना हुआ है क्वाड्स की, और आई थिंक रोमान रईस को भी लाने का मकसद ये जो नज़र आ रहा है इस पिच के ऊपर, जितना ज़्यादा पेस है उतना आसान है खेलना. तो थोड़ा सा इनको लाने से लेफ्ट आर्म एक तो आपको मीडियम पेसर भी मिल जाता है और ओवरऑल कंट्रोल बड़ा ज़बरदस्त है. तो ओवरऑल सारी बेसिस कवर्ड हैं इस्लामाबाद की टीम में, चाहे बैटिंग हो, चाहे स्पिन डिपार्टमेंट हो या फास्ट बॉलिंग हो.
आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं?
सुन रहा हूँ मैं बड़े गौर से कि क्या कह रहे हैं.
हम भी बहुत गौर से सुनते हैं.
गौर से अब सुनते हैं. मेरा ख्याल है वसीम अकरम को we're talking about Karachi Kings, so काफ़ी disappointing रहा है उनके लिए ये season, and I know that it's been frustrating for all the Karachi fans, and I'm sure it's been frustrating for everybody in that dugout as well. Let's hear the thoughts of Wasim Akram now, who caught up earlier with Alan Wilkins.
Wasim, it's a huge game tonight. Every game's a big game in the HBL PSL, but Karachi Kings find themselves in this position where you've got 3 left, and basically you've got to win all 3.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's what it is. Virtually quarterfinals, all 3 of them. We understand if we win 3, we have a chance to qualify for the top 4. I mean, we have been unlucky. Couple of games lost by 2 runs, lost by 6 runs. Needed 6 of 4 deliveries with 5 wickets in hand against Multan in Multan, and didn't finish it. But again, like I said, it is kind of a very well-gelled team. They do enjoy each other's company, the foreign players and the Pakistani players. So that's a good sign.
You know a little bit about Islamabad because you had your first couple of seasons with them.
Yes, I did. It's a good side. Has been very consistent side, Islamabad. They do retain their players. They do pick very good emerging players as well, who eventually go on and play for them for 4 to 5 years. So credit to Islamabad United and their think tank. But again, it's one of the T20, nobody's favourite. You got to have a good day. You got to execute your plans right. And I think my job is to just, instead of putting pressure on the team or on the captain or on the boys, just go with the flow, support them, whatever they're doing.
Well, you've led me nicely into this now because we watch you, I watch you, on the sideline, in the dugout, and there's all these emotions.
Yeah.
Because you're an emotional guy, you played your cricket, you showed your emotions, and there's, you know, when the side's up or things are good, you know, we know that because we watch you. But there's another side as well, when they can maybe not so well. How do you cope with the emotion of it all, the ups and downs, the stress?
Look, Al, as you know, it's quite tough to sit outside where you can't control the game. When you play cricket, when I played the game, I could have controlled the game with my bowling mostly, maybe sometimes in batting. But while sitting outside, you go through so many emotions, especially when team is about to win and suddenly you end up on the losing side. And of course, it's natural to have emotions. I'm also a human being. If your team wins, you're happy. If it loses, obviously you get disappointed. That's very normal with me. I can't hide my emotions. Yeah. Like I said, I'm also a human being. And I'm all for people criticizing. For some odd reason, people criticize me all the time. Please explain that to me. I'm not even playing cricket.
Why would they criticize Wasim Akram? Tell me.
Because we have so much time on our hands. Maybe that's why. So I do trend for a day and then next day they get another game and somebody else trends. And then there's another game, somebody else trends. When Karachi plays, come back to me again. I'm fine with that. I'm all okay with people's opinion, sure. But my advice to people in general, the young generation of Pakistan, is criticize and please move on. Move on to the next day. Move on to the next game. It's okay. End of the day, it's only a game.
Right. I love that. Wes, guess what? We'll be watching you tonight, okay?
Al, I was thinking that I should sit inside somewhere in a corner, but knowing you guys, you'll find me.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can just blame it on Alvin then. You know, he gets the camera on him all the time, isn't it, sir? I mean, every time he's sitting and sulking, you know, we've always got the camera on him.
Not sulking, actually. बड़े गुस्से में नजर आए हैं वसीम भाई और मुश्किल है छुपना कैमरे की आंख से हमने देख लिया कि एलन को भी पकड़ लिया और वसीम भाई को भी पकड़ लिया.
अच्छा लेकिन अब you know, on a serious note, it is tough for him because he's been part of the team. They found him again now. फिर से ढूंढ लिया है उन्होंने, कैमरा ने फिर से उनको ढूंढ लिया है. तो बाज़त अब ये आप ही बात करें उनसे बिकॉज वो बेचारे छुप रहे हैं और ये देखें क्या कर रहे हैं हमारे कैमरे वाले.
देखिए T20 को हम एनालिसिस बहुत करते हैं बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इट्स स्टिल 20 overs and one delivery, a couple of deliveries changes the game and it's very difficult to be consistent in T20 cricket as a player, as a team. शॉर्टर फॉर्मेट है इसीलिए तो सारी टीमें एक जैसी हो जाती है क्योंकि वन प्लेयर कैन चेंज द गेम ऑल टुगेदर टू. तो उसमें वंस योर टीम स्टार्ट्स लूजिंग देन इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गेट देम बैक अप. जाहिर है वो फिर कोच पे तो नज़रें होती हैं, सबसे बड़ा नाम वही है तो सबसे ज़्यादा फोकस लोगों का होता है. हमारा भी उन पे ही फोकस होता है, सबका उन पे फोकस होता है क्योंकि वसीम अकरम एक नाम हुआ.
चले, थैंक यू सो मच टू बोथ ऑफ यू बिकॉज what we need from Karachi is some runs at the top. I mean, they have Sharjeel Khan, they have their opportunity. This is an ideal opportunity for them because they are batting first. Sharjeel Khan वापस आ रहे हैं उनकी टीम में. Let's see कि वो कितने runs करते हैं. 2 ducks उनकी रही हैं. So it's been tough for Karachi Kings, but this game is ideal, like in terms of an opportunity to score some runs. It's time for a short break. जब हम वापस आएंगे, we'll be ready for the first innings with Karachi Kings batting first up against Islamabad United.